Hey buddy, this is Professor MJ back with another NFL team preview. This time I'm going to look into the New England Patriots. In this video, I'll break down each position on offense before only summarizing the defense to avoid making a video that's too long. My full analysis can still be found at professormj.com. I'm also going to say a few words about whether the Pats are likely to win over or under 9 games, which is the line set by sportsbooks for their regular season wins. This is actually one of the best bets in the entire NFL, with a lofty expected return on investment. Alright, so let's do this. The Patriots won an 11th straight division title with a 12-4 record, but they stumbled down the stretch with 3 losses over the final 5 regular season meetings, and that included a stunning 27-24 home loss to the lowly Dolphins, which cost New England a first-round bye. The Miami loss turned out deadly, as the Patriots suffered a 20-13 upset home loss to the Titans in the playoffs. Tom Brady's last pass as a Patriot was a pick 6 with 9 seconds left in the game. New England is starting a new chapter in its history with Brady gone. The team compiled a mind-blowing 232-72 record from 2001 to 2019, a 79% win percentage, while collecting 6 Super Bowl trophies. Let's talk about the Patriots' QB position. One of the big stories during the offseason was obviously Tom Brady leaving the Patriots after spending 20 years with the franchise. Now, one of the most intriguing questions heading into the 2020 season is whether Jarrett Stidham has what it takes to become a starting quarterback in the NFL. As he was heading into his final year at Auburn, Stidham was hyped as a potential number 1 overall pick. However, his stock plummeted after a disappointing season in which he completed 61% of his passes, down from 66.5% the year before. The team signed Cam Newton, who spent the first 9 seasons of his career in Carolina. He is very likely to open the season as the starter, due to his experience. Also, it was reported that Stidham threw many interceptions early in camp. Don't expect Newton to be the savior, considering he appeared in just 2 games last year, and given the lack of weapons at the wide receiver position. Now 31 years old, he's not as fast as he used to be as a runner. It's time to talk about the running back position. The Patriots love to use many runners in their backfield to keep them fresh, and that is likely to remain the same this year. Granted, they have the weapons to do it. Sony Michel, Rex Burkhead, and James White represent a nice group of running backs. Michel had the most rushing attempts on the team by far. But let's be honest, he has not been a great back thus far in his career. For the 2nd straight year, he rushed for just under 1,000 yards. But the problem is as follows. His yards per carry average dropped from 4.5 in 2018 to a pedestrian 3.7 last year. And he's also a non-factor in the passing game, having caught just 19 passes in his 2-year stint in New England. If it was not for Michel's first-round status, Rex Burkhead might have obtained a chance to become the lead back. He was clearly the better runner, and also a better receiver than Michel last year. Burkhead was pretty elusive, as shown by his number 9 position out of 61 running backs in terms of yards after contact per attempt. James White has been a pass-catching machine for years in New England. Listen to these astounding stats. He has averaged 69 receptions over his past 4 years, while also scoring 6.5 total TDs in that time frame. He is a very valuable tool in the Patriots offense. Let's dig into the wide receiver position. The lack of reliable pass catchers was a big topic of discussion among Pats fans last year. If you take a look at the numbers, you may fall off of your chair. Julian Edelman and James White led the way with 172 receptions, respectively. The next highest number of receptions drops to 29 only. The team is clearly undermanned in the receiving corps. Obviously, having Edelman back is a big plus for the Pats. However, despite coming off a 100 reception season, he graded as a slightly above average receiver in the league. His 71 mark by PFF was his lowest since 2012, and one of the reasons was the unusually high number of drops. He led the league with 13. Now entering his age 34 campaign, you have to be worried about his performance. It's probably too early to make a judgment about him, but first rounder N'Keal Harry seems like a bust so far. He started the year on injured reserve before playing 8 games, and if you include the playoff game against Tennessee. Now his best performance was 3 receptions for 29 yards, which is laughable. The best bet to fill the wide receiver number 2 role is Mohamed Sanu. The team sacrificed a second-round pick to acquire him from the Falcons last year. The production New England got out of him last year was not even close to being worth a second-rounder. Here's an important remark though. Sanu sustained an ankle injury in his 3rd game with the Pats, and that seemed to slow him down a lot for the rest of the year. In his final 6 outings, Sanu averaged just 2.2 catches for 18 yards. The Pats also gave a shot to an undrafted rookie named JAKOBI MEYERS. Brady himself raved about him during preseason. He showed some flashes, but he looks more like a depth piece. Let's talk about tight ends, shall we? Ben Watson, Matt LaCosse, and Ryan IZZO won't ever be confused with Rob Gronkowski. Watson had the most targets and receptions of all 3 guys. However, catching 17 passes is nothing to write home about. After turning 39 years old, he decided to hang his cleats. Matt LaCosse showed nothing that could even remotely suggest he could start in the NFL. And the same could be said of Ryan IZZO, who caught 6 passes last year. The team desperately needed help at this position, so they decided to choose a couple of tight ends in the 3rd round of this year's draft. Devin Asiasi from UCLA and Dalton Keene from Virginia Tech. Asiasi is a pretty bad blocker, but he is a threat in the passing game. Over the past 2 years, he has made 14 plays, topping the 20-yard mark. Dalton Keene's skill set is completely different from Asiasi. He's a solid blocker who was not targeted very often in the passing game, although he did score 8 TDs in his final 2 seasons with the Hokies. Now, what is the outlook on the offensive line? Joe Thuney turned out to be a 3rd-round gem. He has not missed a single game in 4 years, and he did not allow a single sack for the 2nd consecutive season. Wow! He finished the 2019 season as the fifth highest graded guard in the league, according to the Pro Football Focus rating system. The team's other guard, Shaq Mason, did not finish much lower than his teammate, as he obtained the number 9 spot. After a more shaky rookie season, Mason has been a steady force in each of the past 4 years. David Andrews was supposed to be the starting center in 2019, but he missed the entire season due to blood clot in his lungs. He is optimistic to return in 2020, but he has not been cleared by doctors yet. He was among the top 10 centers in the NFL before his health issue came up. Now the Pats turned to Ted KARRAS to replace Andrews at the pivot, and he ended up grabbing the 20th rank out of 37 centers. He signed with division rivals, the Miami Dolphins, during the offseason. Left tackle Isaiah Wynn missed half the season due to a toe injury. He did not play at all in 2018 after being chosen in the first round of the draft. He graded as an average tackle last year, which is not bad considering his lack of experience. He was a big upgrade over Marshall Newhouse, who filled in during his absence. Right tackle Marcus Cannon is a 9-year veteran, whose play upgraded quite a bit in the past 4 years, as opposed to his first 5 seasons in the league. So let's review the 2020 outlook for the Pats offense. If we have learned something in the past 20 years, it must be to never bet against Bill Belichick. Like him or not, he simply gets the best out of his players. The X factor is visibly the play of Jarrett Stidham or Cam Newton. If you ask 10 experts to forecast their 2020 stats, you are likely to get 10 very different answers. The truth is, nobody knows what to expect from them. Still, it's hard to see the change at quarterback as an upgrade for the Patriots. Brady ranked as the 12th best signal caller according to PFF rankings. Even if Stidham or Newton does well, they probably won't finish higher than the 12th spot. The situation remains stable at the running back and tight end positions when comparing 2019 and 2020, unless you expect Asiasi to have a big impact right away as a rookie tight end. In summary, the only big change occurs at quarterback, and since it is the most important position on offense, you've got to expect a moderate downgrade. Let's now preview the Patriots 2020 defense. The team lost its best defensive lineman, Danny Shelton, its best edge rusher, Kyle Van Noy, its best linebacker, Jamie Collins, and its number 2 safety, Duron Harmon. Ouch! Those losses were not addressed via free agency, as New England only signed second-tier players. They did draft a linebacker and also safety Kyle Duggar, but they are not blue-chip prospects who are guaranteed to make a big impact in 2020. Under such circumstances, it's difficult not to downgrade severely this unit when comparing the 2019 and 2020 rosters. But once again, here comes the Bill Belichick element. He's so good at plugging guys and making them stars. Will he be able to do some magic once again? Even though it's rarely a good idea to bet against Belichick's mastermind, I'm still going to predict a big drop-off in production from this defense. They allowed the fewest points in the league last year. Obviously, they cannot go up. I'm expecting them to finish in the 10th to 17th range. My betting tip on the Patriots win total produces the league's fourth highest return on investment. Are they going to win over or under 9 games? Recall how I said several times that 22 out of the 32 final betting tips would be completely free of charge, despite the incredible number of hours I invested in my analyses. The top 10 plays, whose ROI all exceed 24%, are available to you for just $500, which is a bargain unless you are betting smaller amounts. Some sports handicappers will yell at you, but they don't even bet their own tips. Recall how I showed you my trip to the state of New Jersey last summer, so that I could place my biggest bet ever on the Buffalo Bills to win over 6.5 games. It turned out to be an easy winner. Now this time I plan to invest more than $150,000 US in Las Vegas by the end of the summer. So do you think I'm kidding about this? The picks are based on the simulation of the 2020 season 1 million times. The numbers are reliable and they suggest many great, profitable bets. So jump on this gold package whose link is provided right below. By doing so, you'll know exactly my favorite picks on NFL regular season wins. And I've also included some extra stuff that you will appreciate for sure. This is Professor MJ. I'm looking forward to see you join me on the road to victory. Get these 10 amazing plays now. I see you soon.